Stretch out the dreams from my mind. Granny's got the scoop, let's unwind. Birds are chirping, singing their tune. Mystery of the day coming soon. Cup of tea and a buttered scone. Start the day, we're never alone. Good morning, rise and shine. Granny's here with stories so fine. Good morning, off we go. To greet the world with a happy glow.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Well, next week is going to be interesting. So grab your coffee, your tea, your cappuccino, your espresso, your juice, whatever it is you drink in the morning. Let's get started. We are talking about Lori Vallow Daybell. Yes, we are. Right here. As most of you know, she has been defending herself in her trial of conspiracy to red rum her husband at the time, Charles Vallow. Now, she had already been convicted of the red rums of her children, J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, and her new husband's conspiracy to commit red rum in her new husband's wife's red rum, Tammy Daybell. Her husband, Chad Daybell, is serving, well, he got the death sentence. So, I mean, who knows when that's going to happen. Could sit years on death row, I suppose, in solitary confinement. But yeah, he's in prison. She is serving 3 life sentences for those red rums, right? But now she is defending herself. Let's hear what a former judge thinks about this, okay? So I'm going to share what a former judge thinks about how she's doing. All credit to Fox 10, Phoenix, and Justin Lum. Let's go ahead and get started.
And just like that, we are getting ready for closing arguments and what could be the last day of trial. What could be a verdict coming in regarding the fate of Lori Vallow Daybell. Obviously, we know that she's serving life in prison for her crimes in Idaho, murdering her 2 youngest kids, J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan. But as far as her fate in this case for the murder conspiracy charge and the death of Charles Vallow, now on a Zoom right now, we have Mel McDonald, a former judge for the Maricopa County Superior Court, former prosecutor for the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, and a former U.S. attorney in the District of Arizona. Now, Mel, we had some Zoom issues earlier, but so glad you could come on and spontaneously, we're going to do this on the record episode right now, talking about what happened today. Jury instructions, very important. Talk about that for me as the jury gets a break for the weekend, but they are going to be instructed on some fine details when they get the case after closings.
One of the most important parts of the judicial process are the jury instructions. As a defense attorney, and I was a defense attorney for 37 years, as well as a prosecutor and judge, one of the things you strive to accomplish is in the record if there's any question on the jury instructions, you raise an objection. You challenge the instructions wherever you can, because one of the most common reversals of convictions comes in erroneous jury instructions. I noticed today that there were very few objections from Lori, which again comes back to the basic premise. She's representing herself. She doesn't understand the importance of her record. she doesn't understand that every time she has a possible objection and misses that objection, she waives the objection, and therefore it cannot result in any benefit to her on appeal.
All right, now we want to get everyone to listen to this because we're all waiting to see if Lori Vallow Daybell would actually change her mind, testify, present evidence. Judge Boreski asked her again today. Obviously, the jury needed to be there for her to rest. She said she would rest yesterday. Today, she said again, she doesn't intend to testify or call any witnesses. Let's take a listen.
The state is present, the defense is present, the jury is not present. This is the time set to discuss the final jury instructions. Let me confirm with the defendant that, is it still your intention to not put on any evidence?
Right now, Your Honor, yes. As of
Well-
this morning, I mean.
Well, do you anticipate that changing?
No,
All right. Because that does affect how these instructions will be read to the jury. So for now, we're assuming you're not putting on any evidence.
Mel, how do you gauge Lori Vallow Daybell's demeanor? Is she being truthful? I mean, you have to be truthful right in front of a judge, but the way she says she does not intend to present anything, but we're still waiting for this jury to come into the courtroom and hear her say she rests.
Yeah, I would be surprised if she were to, on Monday, announce that she wants to put on evidence. The only witness that she could put on is her own testimony. I don't think that is likely. Before, I thought there was maybe a 51% chance that she would testify. But I think the point has been well raised that she doesn't like other people to be in a position of controlling her, and a prosecutor would have her on cross-examination for days because there's so many holes that she's created in the case. So my thought is that it'll probably go to the jury with closing arguments on Monday. But if there's one person out there that might boggle that machine, it would be her. I think it's part of her gamesmanship mode.
Interesting, guys. So I think, and it isn't just because it's Lori Vallow, right? But anytime a defendant takes a stand, it's never good for them. You look at Alex Murdaugh, and there's others, but that's the one that quickly comes to my mind, right? It never is good for them. They always end up being convicted. Always. And this judge is correct. There is no one else she could put on the stand because everyone else that was there that day is dead. Tylee Ryan, gone by her mother's own hand. Charles Vallow, gone by Alex's hand. Alex, gone. Who knows how? For sure, right? Allegedly died of 2 blood clots, 1 in each lung. But there are people who question that, including her family. So, very interesting. She has not rested in front of the jury yet, so she could legitimately put on a defense on Monday if she wanted to. They could not stop her. But what is she going, the judge isn't just going to let her get up there and talk, right? Not to mention that the prosecution would have a field day if she got on the stand. They would have fun with her. So very interesting case. But let's hear a little bit more about what the judge has to say here.
Good point. Now, Special Projects executive producer George Obie here as well. I mean, we did not predict to be sitting here on April 17th, ready to get into closing arguments. That's for sure.
No, and I think a lot of us were hoping and maybe even expecting Lori to put up some sort of defense. So then I have to question, and Mel, you can help maybe answer this. What does she have to do, and how careful does she have to be in her closing arguments to where it doesn't come off as a defense? And with her inexperience in all of this, it almost feels like a slippery slope. What are some of the things that she is going to have to be careful of and not say during her closing arguments?
You see, my belief is that I don't think she's losing an ounce of sleep if she crosses the line in a closing argument. I thought when she announced at the beginning of the questioning of the jury, or in her opening statement about not taking the witness stand, I think her thought is, and her plan would be, to try, even if it's improper, to get her statement in, her defense in, without giving the state to cross-examine, which would result in the prosecutor objecting, the judge ordering the jury to disregard the testimony. But I think, to me, that makes the most sense. Her not taking the stand, giving the prosecutor the chance to cross-examine her, and then being able, through her argument to the jury, because she's not a lawyer, to try to put in testimonial type evidence as a part of her argument.
I agree with him completely. I believe that's what she's going to do. She's going to try to tell, quotes, her truth, right? Because that is what she told Keith Morrison on Dateline, right? That she wants, the whole purpose of defending herself is she wants to tell her truth. She really has not been able to in this trial so far because they shut her down every time. Not only that, she, the redrums of her children and Tammy Daybell have not been allowed to come in. And ironically, Lori opened the door for that. Or Lori did not open the door for that. I thought she was going to, but she never did. Well, so far. So this is going to, her argument before the jury is going to be very, very interesting. It doesn't mean that the prosecution cannot object, because they can. And more than likely they will. I'm pretty sure about that fact, right? So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. I will keep you guys updated. It's just going to be, it's just going to be a notorious trial, notorious ending, I believe. Which, if we think about it, all of Lori's cases are, right? She did not do herself any favors by defending herself. She is not going to be able to tell her truth. That's not going to come out, guys. She's not going to be able to do that. I think she's resting because she feels that the state did not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she is guilty of conspiracy. But her text messages did her in. So, to me, there's more than enough evidence to prove that she is definitely guilty of conspiring to commit red rum in the case of her husband, Charles Vallow. And it breaks my heart that such a good man is gone, right? Those children are gone. Tammy Daybell. They did not do anything. They didn't deserve to die. But that's all I have for today, guys. I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button on the way out. Hit the subscribe and the notification bell and select all so that you are notified when we go live, which is most days 5 p.m. Central. We are building a great family and we would be happy to have you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at grannyscrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.